Carl, you good? Everything good on your side?
Yeah, everything good. Same shit, different day.
Yeah, you down in Jersey?
No.
Nah, I'm in Concord. I'm in North Carolina, nigga.
Oh, okay.
Down there, he waving his shirt around like it's a helicopter.
I know you a man of many moves. That's why I asked.
Yeah, no. I'm in North Carolina now.
How far is that from Charlotte?
It's right there. What happened?
It's right there, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's right there. It's like, what else you said?
I said you waving your shirt around like it's a helicopter.
North Carolina, Petey Pablo reference.
Come on and raise up.
That niggas is crazy.
Oh man.
All right. So, fellas, we are live. Where's Doe? We lost him.
Doe is
and then I had to
busy
pull one of them right here.
He's busy arranging his sneakers.
You got your wine? Yo. You good?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
All right, yo.
I gotta talk to my big homies. Right
you got just the
originals.
You got your Sadat X wine.
Yo, I know you're not talking. You used to sell incense in '91. You used to be out there with the Israelites.
Final call newspaper.
Mundo. Nah, but this is dope because y'all are big brothers and y'all put us on. Y'all been putting us on the game, and now, like cryptocurrency is basically like a household name, and y'all were early on that shit before y'all even went into like the podcast. Y'all were just giving us game in regular, in real life with that, and y'all are big homies, man. It's an honor for y'all to be here with us and chopping it up just for the first time in a long time for y'all. So
yeah, man, we appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to be here, man.
We just here.
Really, yeah, we've been scheming on this. We've been low key scheming on this, man.
I don't even know when he started. I think actually, funny story. 2018 in Miami, first time he was like, "Yo, we got to do a pod because it's crypto shit." And he showed me, and if I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ethereum. Or it was either Ethereum or Litecoin was $28. And I remember because he always does, he's like some of this. It was Litecoin.
Yep.
It was Litecoin. He was like, yo, it's $28. You gotta cop some. She's gonna go crazy. In true Dutch fashion, I did not. But I can't say that he didn't give me the play. And then we just started, you know what I mean? We just started the podcast and we just kept riding. And of course, Carl, I mean, shit, what more is there to say? Carl's always showing love. I think that's the thing for me that I really appreciate about it. It's just the fact that it was all about just giving out information and not asking for anything in return. And in return, we received so much. So that was really just all Elgin, really. He just
Elgin put
like
that
I
all
said,
together,
just in Miami in the kitchen. He was like, let's do it.
All right, so let me frame this real quick. Y'all. I don't mean to cut you off, but this is the Homage Podcast. This is episode 15. This is a special episode because we all friends, we just kind of jump into it. But for some that don't know, this is what we're doing. We want to pay homage to people, that story that's real important and that need to be shared. And you brothers are definitely doing things that are helping people and that definitely need to be shared, acknowledged, and passed along to others. So welcome to the Homage Podcast, the Cryptology Podcast on the Homage Podcast. Dutch, Elgin, Carl.
I'm
sorry I had to do all of this. You know what I'm saying? But you can continue now. I didn't mean to mess with the story.
No. So
I just jumped into it, but go ahead.
So I was pretty much just giving out advice to everybody on social media, and certain people in the music industry was asking me for stuff, and one person, shout to Nation from Narrite, I guess Narrite/OVO. I was in where the fuck was I? In somewhere in Canada. Where's the place? Montreal. And we went sitting. He was like, "Yo, you should just do like a podcast on crypto." He was like, "Nobody will do it like you." And I was like it sat with me, but that was in September, and it sat with me for like a month or two. Then I kind of spoke to some people in loudspeakers, and they were like, "Yo, all right, like let's give it a try." So originally it was going to be me and Azim, and we did a first episode, shout out to Azim, and, his schedule just wasn't really, he couldn't really commit to like that full week grind. And I had brought Carl on because me and Carl knew each other from social media. And, I saw that he was into crypto, and he came on as a guest initially. But like from the first episode, after the episode, I was just like, fuck it, like, Carl, I want you on the show, like, just be the co-host, And he was like, all right. So, I kind of looked at Carl like, I fucked with Carl because he was ignorant as fuck, but smart as fuck, like, and we were similar in that way. Like, we both like to stir the pot. We both like to troll. We both can take the pressure when people try to troll us. Like, so we just played off of each other so well. And I was like, once he came on, like, everything just felt like we were doing it forever. For me, at least, like, I felt so comfortable. And then like Dutch would come to the episodes every week and just like hang out. And eventually he started like yelling from the background, like comments. It was almost like, it was almost like Dutch had ad libs. And so, and people were literally commenting on social, like, get Dutch a mic, get Dutch a mic. And so like one episode I think we didn't have a guest. So we were like, yo, Dutch, like, just rock on the mic. And ever since then, he just never gave the mic back. He kind of like bogarted his way. Like he was funny, the intern. He was the intern that was like working the photocopier at Def Jam. And next thing he had a record deal. So and we was doing it, man. Like, and I think we did 71 episodes, and the pandemic came, and the studio was shut down. And I always say, like, podcasting is like going to the gym. Like, if you're doing it every week, it's easy. But when you miss like 2 or 3 weeks, you get out of shape. And that's kind of what happened for me. Like, I definitely want to bring it back. I'm thankful that people still hit me up about it and ask for it. So hopefully, eventually, if Carl runs into a dry spell and doesn't keep getting these millions, he might be like, yo, we need to bring the pod back.
Here we go.
But now go ahead, Carl.
Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, now what I was gonna say is that that's pretty much how it panned out. I mean, I think it was a dope. I think at that time it was just a dope thing. And I know, we didn't get crazy big, but I do know a lot of the people that were listening. Like, we were impactful to those people's lives. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I always like. I mean, rain, sleet, hail, snow. At the end of the day, like, I know, like, that period of time, what we did on that podcast, I definitely know we changed a lot of people's lives. We open, I get DMs from people all the time, like, talking about, showing me bread they actually made from, investing in crypto, from listening to us and stuff like that. People showing me like wild amounts. And it's like, at the end of the day, and it's just funny how life worked like that. You know what I'm saying? It was only, it was kind of like it was like a snapshot in time. But the people that were locked in, it was like a really like life-changing moment for a lot of people that was like really like fucking doing what we were talking about in the podcast when we were talking about it.
Right.
What's crazy about that?
Even for us, I think
that was really early on everything, because even like, with crypto, and you had like the options, like, I still don't understand some of that shit. I know we done made them plays, and I still don't understand it, but y'all were putting us on. Y'all were putting all your audience on to a lot of games. And yeah, if people listen to you, I'm sure they did make some bread, because Ethereum was dirt cheap when y'all were kicking shit. So
yeah, the guests made.
I hope they did.
The guests made us bread too. Like, if it wasn't for Jody, I would have never copped Chainlink. If it wasn't for Ty Ross, I would have never been dollar cost. I would have never been dollar cost average in Bitcoin. Like, so as much as the audience was learning, so were we. So it was like group class. It was a beautiful thing, man. And I think we also, one thing that needs to be noticed, we was doing this in a bear market. If we were doing a pod in a bull market, it would have been like a whole different type of blow up. I think. I
also think it was a different era too, because I think like it's crazy, because it's funny, because a lot of the people that were in positions to kind of probably put our podcast on a different level, now talking to me about crypto. And it's like, nigga, you was seeing this shit all day, like when we was talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's funny how life work like that, where it's just like, now everybody want to get into crypto, but honestly, a lot of the people want to get into crypto now is for all the wrong reasons. It's, know, they watching all these fucking meme coins pop off, and then they just think it's gonna be like a get rich quick scheme. And a lot of those people are gonna end up being the people who, end up holding the bag on a lot of this shit, So it's kind of like a gift and a curse, you know what I'm saying? Because you got a whole bunch of dudes out here like there's a million crypto podcasts now and shit like that, but you got dudes out here that'll be like, pumping shit like Doge and coins like that, like legitimate investments, you know what I'm saying? And people will listen to them, follow it like, as legitimate investments, get fucked. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, you can make money off of anything, you know what I'm saying? There was a point where Beanie Babies was selling for $100 grand, you know what I'm saying? But if you're a nigga that when the Beanie Babies was selling for $100 grand, you like, nah, I'm gonna hold it because it's gonna be worth $500,000 one day. Now, like, you know what I'm saying? You can't get that Beanie Baby off, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but there's a nigga who had the Beanie Baby and sold it at $100,000. Like, he sold it at the top and he made money. So I don't say that as a knock to anybody who's making money off of these bullshit coins. I just say that, for a lot of people who may just be jumping into it, the more take heed and understand that, this shit is almost like it is exactly like the .com era where there's going to be a million, and a lot of people who are younger may not remember that era, but during that era, there was a new company coming out every other day. It was, whatever.com. It was a trash.com, pizza, that was whatever thing.com, and it was IPO, and they were getting crazy valuations, and then a couple years later, only a few of those joints were left. But granted, if the few of those joints are the, the Googles and the Amazons of today, so, that's where you go into, like, when you talk about, like, quality cryptocurrencies and shit like that, those are going to be, like, the ones that, you end up holding, and those ones are going to be, the real big baggers at the end of the day. But my whole fear is that, not a fear because I don't really care, but I kind of feel bad, like, a lot of dudes is probably going to get caught up, in another rinse out.
It's crazy, too, because obviously me and L, all of you guys know L, but when I met L, the thing that I connected with him on, I always tell him that he's a trend spotter. But trends is about timing. When we were talking about this, and then I was thinking, I was like, man, timing is some crazy shit because the way this is happening, right? The crypto, like, it's everywhere now. Like, if you look at the search terms on social media, it's everywhere. Right. And like, meanwhile, like a year, 2 years ago, it would be like, yo, L, or nah, he would be like, yo, I bought my crypto on Monday. You know what I mean? And it was like, I was even joking around with my technical analysis. I think Bitcoin is going to do like 4,500 or some crazy number. And we would joke about it because it was like kind of muddling a little. It had crashed or whatever. And now everywhere you go, they got stadiums getting named at crypto. They got athletes converting their salary into crypto. And it's so wild because we were there not looking for, not looking to blow up, but just doing the work. And now dudes that never talked about crypto, they got a podcast like Carl's that talk about crypto. Niggas is rebranding crypto. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean?
It's
like,
the way
it's so funny, man. It's so funny.
But you guys, think about it. It's just like anything else. Like, it goes from lifestyle, right? And then, it's at its purest form, because the podcast was created from day-to-day shit, group chat, regular life living, what you guys were doing in real life, talking about it, sharing it with the people around you. So, just like everything else we love, eventually it becomes popular, and other people open up. So now other people, I feel like Doge is the thing that, that probably brought a lot of outside people in and start talking about it, because Doge people came in and how high it went,
Doge is the mixtape rapper coin.
Yo, But I mean, I'm down with Shid or with Shiva. You know what I'm saying? I'm down with it.
Yo, listen, bro. We on this. I'm down with it too. I made
Yeah,
like 20.
I'm down with it.
You know, it's
Shit.
when you talk about being first to the party, right? We was first to the party on crypto, maybe, but definitely first to the party on doing it our way, right?
Yep.
Like there definitely wasn't another pod serving it the way we were serving it.
Not at
now
all.
there's
Yeah,
other ones.
sure.
There's other ones doing it, and shout to them like
Yeah.
they're doing it. But we were also, or I was the first to slander the Rock Nation hat. Now,
Facts.
you know, that's kind of coming up. Like people are on that.
People definitely taking the flag.
I was the first to slander the camel. You know, and you start to see, even Carl. You know what's funny? When I met Carl, he was a pro Hove. He was a Hovenger. You know.
There we go. It's all documented, man. People can go listen to the episodes themselves, man.
But no, you were in the beginning. You weren't a whole Avenger in the beginning, but then after time, you started to see it. Like you were like, "Yo, you're right. This isn't the guy." You know,
it always comes back to this, man. It always comes back to this.
You see Justice texting Beehive right now.
No,
He's
I'm
like,
just trying to.
Just trying to make sure.
I don't even know nobody over here, man. I'm not even connected in that way. I'm trying to get more. I'm trying to monitor Sheba and all this shit over here.
Circle, right? To bring it full circle. L is anti-Hove, and then meanwhile, in 2021, now it's happening about being the Scarface of cryptocurrency. That's just if that don't bring it full circle, that's just wild, man. Like, yo, L, who would have ever thought that, right? Like, yeah, who would have ever thought that? Yeah. The more we talk about this thing, it's just crazy. I keep thinking about the timing of it, you know.
And if you peep, Hove is selling out all of his nigga businesses. He seen what Nas did. Nah, real talk. Like,
he not niggering no Carl.
Hove peep what Nas did. He's like, I'm still selling liquor and shit. Fuck that. You mistake, you cop that shit. I feel title. I don't need this shit no more. Just give me my little steak. You can have that shit. And now he working with Andrew Horowitz. I'm like, oh, now you messing with that Jew. That was Nas Jew. You know what I'm saying? Like you know.
Yeah.
So now he teaming up with Nas peoples and shit. You know what I'm saying? So Hove see the writing on the wall and shit. He see what happened.
I mean,
man, so hold on. It's safe to say Nas won again.
Listen, Nas won the long. You know what? You can't even count it out because once I seen Hove talking with Andrew Horowitz, I'm like, you know, I don't know what he about to pull up out his sleeve. I know he working on something big. So, but right now it's looking like Nas won the long game because that is Robinhood and Coinbase investments alone. And I'm not even talking about what the rest, Queensbridge Venture Capital, they in mad investments. But I mean, those two alone, I mean, that's probably dwarfing everything Hove got.
Somebody got to get Justin a glass of water.
So the line.
I'm just saying, once all this stuff materialized, once Robinhood IPO, like, I mean, bro, like, you got to remember, now he's like a seed investor on both of them.
Somebody pass him a pen or something.
So, is it safe to say Nas did that so Hove can learn how to do that?
Justin, do you have any?
But it's funny though,
but if you peep the moves, he's selling out the nigga businesses. He see what it's up. He about to
those are the guys. Those are the guys.
Yo, but you know what that is though, Carl. The crazy thing is like those businesses that require in and out and moving about freely. You know what I mean? Like if you can't move around freely, man, you got to be into that. You know, Robin was blowing up crazy this time of the year. Well, not this time of the year, during this COVID, I should say.
Isn't it something to say about our culture? Like, let's just say, like in the 1995, what we were listening, you know, to their music specifically, and what we would debate about, or what we were into at those times, and what that music defined for us compared to 2021, and they're talking about the same shit not the same shit as far as like on that, but the same level of shit that we're on now. So how crazy is that to evolve with the legends to the point where, like, you know, even now, like, you know, hip hop has come full circle to that point to where it's like when y'all was outside, when all of us were dragging our Timbs and shit and they were talking that street shit, we were outside debating that. And now we here debating big picture shit. Ain't that? I mean, I find that to be fire.
It's evolution.
Yeah, that's dope.
You know,
and to give
dope.
Nas his credit, Nas had, I forgot what year it was. I think it probably might have been like 20. It had to be like, I think it might have been like 2015. And Nas had, I forgot what song it was, but Nas had name dropped crypto in music. Like, so he was talking about crypto from years ago. Like, and I think it's dope. And that's one of the things that separate the legends from the dudes that kind of just got old and fell off is like, Nas and Hov, you could kind of enjoy them, and they talking about that grown type stuff, and
like even 444, like as much as some people might not like it, I think there was an audience that kind of needed to hear that too, like that, like you know what I'm saying. Some people might knock it, but there was an audience that needed to hear it too.
But what's dope too is because me personally, honestly, I don't really like Nas and Hov like later music. Like I listen to their old shit. I don't listen to their like 444 shit, to be honest. Like. As ironic as it might seem, but like I like that it's dope that you got a bunch of new niggas like Larry June, Money Man, Currency, like they spitting, they talking that real talk, but they talking about it in their own way. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope now too that you got young dudes. Yeah, you got like young dudes that are telling dudes about crypto. I think I seen a Money Man tweet the other day. He was saying I could go got this buzz down, but I think I'm gonna just go buy some ether. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is dope. When you got like young dudes like that are rapping, and that's the type of content that they putting out to their peoples. And again, a dude like Money Man, he talks more about like hustling, like real hustles, and his shit is more, I would say, quote unquote, educational in that sense. So again, the fact that he even said Ethereum, you know what I'm saying, instead of saying some shit like Dogecoin, which is the easiest thing for anyone to mention right now, or the most catchy thing, I like stuff like that. I could appreciate dudes like that, as opposed to Meek Mill who just start tweeting whatever shit is trending at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Carl,
I was the first one to talk to. I was the first one documented. My Twitter got deleted, but I was the first one to document the Meek Mill effect, and I started waiting on stocks from a long time ago. But I was the first one to document, and Twitter deleted all of my proof. But niggas on Twitter know I was the first one to document the phenomenon known as the Meek Mill effect.
Yo, Carl, I was gonna say, if Elon Musk is the one that could drive the price up, like Meek Mill is the counter opposite to drive it down. So I feel like you need those two.
But you know what's funny? I got a problem with Elon Musk too, because he's a clown nigga too. So here's why I don't like Elon Musk. Because this is a nigga that's much smarter. He's like actually smart. And his influence goes crazy. So when out of all the cryptos, you want to start like shilling for fucking Dogecoin, knowing that shit's gonna be pumping and dumping, and your influence is so crazy, like you're not even Meek Mill. So there's mad people that don't know shit about investing. You know what I'm saying? You know how much clown niggas cop Doge for that Saturday Night Live episode, expecting the shit to, go, the double and shit. And then when the shit dropped 35%, they lost their shit because the money they put into that, they couldn't afford to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, dog, it's weird because niggas like Elon Musk, people got to understand, he's like a futurist. Like, dudes like him, they don't got no souls. Like, they don't give a fuck about what happens to, like, humans, nigga. In his mind, it's like, you should have been smarter, nigga, figure it out. Like, that's how, like, dudes like him think. But it's messed up when they could do stuff like that and have that type of influence, you know what I'm saying? And, leave people to the slaughter. Like, there's a lot of dudes that just got burnt by the Saturday Night Live shit, pulled the rest of their money out for a loss, and is never going to invest again. You know what I'm saying? And they just lost all their money.
It's bop on TV, though. Like, who's funny?
Yo.
I didn't even watch it. I don't watch news. I didn't even watch it.
I heard a dude say before Saturday Night Live in the hood, he was like, yo, Doge is going to be bigger than Amazon. And I was just like, why do you? But then I'm like, why do you say that? And he was like, just cause. And I was like, okay.
But
dog,
you know what the wild thing is?
There's people that legitimately believe that. And that's where I kind of think like the problem where it's gotten to where it's like this shit is almost like a comical thing too now. That's why I don't even talk about crypto on my social media. Like even before my Twitter got wrapped, like I had stopped talking about crypto for a minute because it was just like, son, it's a lot of clowns in that space and shit like that. And then I don't know, dog. Like I just I just don't be like, son, I just don't be like be associated with weird shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like a lot of weird shit going on. And also, I also don't want to be associated with leading people to the slaughter. You know what I'm saying? I know how the white man works, son. They gonna rinse these niggas out again. Like, I know it's coming, son. But people who are educated enough know that this is a long-term game. Like, you can't be shaken out by, dips or whatever happened, or get too hyped when you see some shit pop off. Like, you just got to know this is like a long game. You find solid coins, you hold them for mad long, and that's it. That's the game plan.
So you didn't buy no Shimbu, whatever it's called, Carl?
Nah.
Shiva.
I ain't buying none of that. I'm like, dog.
Carl.
Honestly, it's not even, real talk. I think there is a space for niggas who want to like trade like meme coins and shit like that. There's definitely, I know niggas that's doing it right now. I know niggas that got into crypto off our show and now they like crypto trading. That's what they do primarily. Like they trade crypto. So there's, and they fuck with shit coins too. So I know that there's a space for you to make money in it. But how many people are doing that type of due diligence or having that type of discipline to know, to like, not get caught up in the hype, just make a quick hit, hop out, shit like that. Like you just said you 20x on your Shiba Inu coin, right? How much are you gonna hold it to? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, how much gains is enough at 20? Like, how much gains is enough?
He's waiting until we only communicating by falconry.
No, but real talk, like, but that's the mess. Like, that's what happens with these like meme coins. It's like a nigga can get 20x and it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not enough. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
Carl.
When shit pops, I'm only sending coordinates. If you don't know how to read coordinates, you can't link them.
But check this out, Carl. We talked about a little bit, and L, I want to know your opinion. Everybody, I think right now the coins, right? The coins is the new boiler room. You know what I mean? Coins is the new boiler room. Like, people get out there, they have a coin, it gets pumped on the blogs, on the Reddits, on the forums, whatever, on the social media, and actually it has the opposite effect of what it should have, right? Because, like Carl said, when you see that, you should fall back and say, "Whoa, actually, it gets more people in it." So it's like, you know what I mean? Because like when I look at the Doge and the Shiba, like, real talk. If you just think about it logically, you should want to get into those, right? Because you should know that that's a scam. But it makes people actually want to get into it. You know what I mean? So, it's like
people just see the opposite effect. People just see someone post the games on IG and they like, fuck it, I want it. And that's what it is. Yeah, like, we're just in that type of society, and it's just, that's what it is.
I mean, I don't think this is a new ball game, right? Everybody been playing a lot.
Nah, it's not.
Years.
It's just more,
It's a new
like I said,
game.
It's a new boiler room.
It's a new ball game if you talk about accessibility. I mean, this is why gambling this is why gambling wasn't illegal in a lot of states and is now like becoming legal. There was like a reason why states didn't want gambling in it, because there was some societal denigrative effects that happen to any place you got casinos. It's just a fact. Like, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? So at this point now, people outweigh the things, the cost benefits, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's these niggas are gonna be gambling anyway. They got apps they could gamble with on their phone. You know what I'm saying? They just now niggas just call it Robinhood. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are gonna be gambling now. So that's why, like, the whole gambling and casino gamification type thing vibe is just more acceptable now, So that's why you got a whole bunch of states like legalizing and stuff, etc. But dog, I know how the white man works, son. Like, these niggas once too much niggas start eating off something, party is done, son. And that's what they did back in the day too. When they, like I said, we been in this shit for a minute, so we seen Bitcoin go from 17,000 to 3,000. Like, a lot of these niggas was going crazy when it dropped back to 45,000, and I'm like, nigga, you haven't seen a real correction in crypto yet, then, like, because that's nothing. Like, that's light. So at the end of the day, I definitely think Bitcoin's gonna be 100,000 one day and shit like that. Do I think I think it could possibly get back under 20,000 before it gets back to 100,000? At the same time too. Like, that shit wouldn't shock me if Bitcoin dropped back down to 17 grand. Like, I wouldn't be shocked.
I'm gonna say, like, I really lost the ability to apply logic to the financial environment that we're in right now. So I feel
Logic
like we
doesn't
look
apply.
at the past.
There's no
Right.
logic.
So what I'm
No,
saying
in your
is
defense, logic isn't applying.
right. Right. So what I'm saying is
You-
traditionally you would look at the past and apply it to the future, right? To forecast. But everything right now is so fucking fake, bro. Like
Facts.
everything feels fake.
Like
this market-
35%.
Think about what happened with GameStop and AMC stocks not too long
Not
ago.
only
You gotta
that,
think about that.
but look,
Yo, 35% of the circulating dollars in America right now were printed last year. You know what I'm saying?
So
That's like a
that was
crazy
another
number
point.
to think about.
That's another
35%.
thing. Like, because I feel like we have a hyperinflation looming because you just can't print more dollars and not devalue the currency.
But
Right? It's
apparently
like
you can, because
theoretically
apparently
possible.
you can. Theoretically,
Right,
but
possibly,
this is what I'm
because-
saying.
because
Logic isn't applying right now. We in like
Right.
a weird
Yeah,
ass time.
because cash.
Yeah.
Think about it.
So
we all use credit and cash mostly. So I mean more credit and cards and all kind of stuff like cash. We're not really using cash like that. So I could see.
right.
I could really see
Well-
35% of the cash being printed being in circulation. Who's
But
using
my
cash?
point is though, I keep looking at the market and I'm like, every time I think that the market is due for a correction, it has just been so resilient. Like it's
Word.
just almost like
That's
it
a
doesn't
fact.
matter. And so I look at that and I'm just like, bro,
Yeah.
then and I always talk about this in the chat. Like if in a normal world, a company like Uber cannot be valued at, whatever it's 600 billion or whatever it is, and lose $1 billion every quarter. Like it just doesn't, it boggles my mind. So I kind of feel like all this, when it comes to the financial system in 2021, that's the year we're in, the shit is fake, bro. It's all a mirage. The world has become the ultimate Ponzi scheme.
No, that's a fact. That what happened is, and I don't know if people seeing the pattern because the last 2 months have been real wicked in the stock market. A lot of niggas been taking licks in the stock market with the tech sell-off. And a lot of the, financial gurus, that was trading options and doing all of that, they switched to Doge. Like, all their posts to Doge. So it's a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
No, right now what you see is like a pattern of people just trying to hop to the next lick that's popping.
Yeah.
Like, and Doge is like the current lick. But like I said, the white man, like he pulls the rug whenever, like if GameStop wasn't the perfect example of the white, this shit ain't like, this shit is all like, you can't beat the system. You know what I'm saying? If people ain't noticed that when all the exchanges just stop trading on GameStop, period, and stuff like that, like if that don't show you this shit is all fake, nothing will. But at the same time, like even now,
it gets people hype.
Yeah, but even now, like with this tech sell-off, you got a whole bunch of companies like even if you look at something like Shopify, they're doing 44% more revenue than they did last year, and they down like 35% from their highs now because tech is selling off right now. But meanwhile, the shit was at all-time highs before those numbers even came out. So you got tech companies that are doing better, but they selling off, you know what I'm saying? Oh, and again, this is just the market. People are revaluing things. There's cases to be made that stuff was overvalued in the past, shit like that. But right now, these white niggas is doing their revaluations in the stock market. Whenever they get bored and they want to go back to crypto and fuck with that, they could drop it. Like people think crypto is way more liquid than it is. And people don't really understand like the fact that more money gets traded in the New York Stock Exchange alone than like the whole crypto universe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you think people are powerful enough to manipulate stocks on the stock market, crypto is light work to them. Like it's really, they could do whatever they want to the price. And I think a lot of that was done because again, when crypto started rising, it caught a lot of these banks and shit off guard. A lot of them didn't have the trading desk. They didn't have the infrastructure. They didn't have the back end to deal with crypto, to offer crypto to their clients, et cetera, et cetera. As they drop, when the price dropped, it gave them time to, get their shit together. And now all the major banks, all these major institutions, they already have their crypto plan already in motion and in play. So now they can let the shit, naturally take its course the way it was supposed to go. But I think at the end of the day, you always got to keep that in the back of your mind, and people have to understand that. The same way, and it's so funny because the market popped off, but people don't even remember when that market had that flash crash last year. When the market like damn near sold off, like damn near.
Yeah, they stopped trading,
Like the shit happened mad quick, you know what I'm saying? But then the shit just came right back. But
Yeah.
I don't think people understand like that shit can happen at any day in either market. That's the stock market, the crypto market, and stuff like that. So, you know, me, you know, not trying to get too conspiracy theorist with it, you know, I'm expecting another one of those type washout again. And I think it's just something naturally that's going to occur. I also think Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000. You know what I'm saying? What happens first? If it crashes a couple times before it gets to 100,000, I can't really tell you that. But I do know that none of this shit is bigger than Nino Brown. Like whatever these dudes, real talk. Like dudes think, oh, the power's back with the people with crypto. Like, yeah, well, you're gonna need to get that crypto out and utilize it for something.
Yeah.
And that's when the government's gonna regulate all this shit. Like you're gonna have to buy something with it. Like what's good with the, you know, the $1 million in cyberspace if you can't buy nothing with it or withdraw no bread from it. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of crypto talk going on, man. I don't think a lot of people are doing the proper due diligence, and you know, only time will tell. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they just get excited though. They get excited because I think a lot of words get thrown around, and like you said, if you don't do the due diligence, it sounds fancy, right? Like I was arguing with a dude. He's like telling me, "Yeah, but it's decentralized." I'm like, "Nigga, what does that even mean?" You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that even mean? Like I was telling you, Carl, it's like a highway, and yes, you're right. The people that are smart, they know the exits that the cops don't know. But most people are dummies. They're going to go where the exit is. And guess who's waiting for you right there when you exit? You know, so you're going to be left holding the bag, you know? So I think it's a great time. But if you look at any time in America when wealth was created, there's always been scams and charlatans. That's just, America's just, that's just how we built, man. You know, every great fortune has a great crime behind it. So like you said, man, whoever came up with Doge, you know, the top 10 wallets in that, they're going to get their money. Then, you know, and like I said to you, I think what's happening is FOMO too. You know, like we talk about all the time, is FOMO. So you didn't get on Doge. So now you're looking for another come up, you know, whether it's Shiba or some other coin, because your man just told you he got 20 bands out of this, you know, off of 500, right? You know what I mean? So you're like, well, if he got 20 bands off of 500, I'm going to put 5 bands in, right. You know, and, you know, it just feeds on itself. It's a frenzy. And then also everyone's inside, man. It's much easier. Everything is in here now. You don't have to. But that's even when we started, you had to really be, you know, you had to get on your terminal and go up. Now it's easier.
Yeah, no, then that's part of the gamification part of it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, it's really like, it's like fucking, you know, I'm a gambler. It's just like a casino. You know what I'm saying? When dudes go on Robinhood and buy Doge. But another thing I'll tell people too, like another way to look at the whole crypto industry too, and I don't think it's a bad way too. Some people, you know, I've spoken to people that won't buy cryptos for, you know, for their own personal reasons, but they invest in heavily in Coinbase. And they plan on buying Robin, you know, so that's another way to look at, you know, when people say with the gold rush, the people who made the bread were the ones who sold the shovels, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's another way to look at it. Because at the end of the day, if crypto's going to do everything you're supposed to do, then Coinbase should follow suit, you know what I'm saying, in terms of revenue, in terms of growth and things like that. So another thing for people too, you know, who want to be on the quote unquote safer side of things, or, you know, the more, I guess, official, you know, side of things, because, you know, there's still gray areas in terms of capital gains tax and how that kind of applies to crypto and things of that nature. You know, I tell people all the time that Coinbase is definitely something I definitely would recommend as a long-term hold for anybody like who believes in the crypto space.
What y'all think about y'all fuck with NFTs?
I'm not really up on that.
NFTs went crazier. To me, the NFTs is like the meme coins for the most part, but like there's like a 10% space of NFTs that it makes sense. But I just can't get, like, I would even put NBA Top Shot in that 10% that makes sense, but NBA Top Shot don't make no sense to me. Like, I would never want to own a virtual card or virtual highlight that I don't get any royalties off of. You know what I'm saying? It don't. But yo, like I said, it's a Beanie Baby. If a nigga want to buy it, you know.
I got like 14 cards right now, man.
Oh, my bad, my bad. No, I'm just saying, like, for me, it just
no, I ain't tripping.
No, because like
no, we got. I probably got like 10 of them shits. We've been checking on it. We've been trying it all. You know what I'm saying?
If you, like I said, if you make money off of it, I'm not saying there's not money to be made, but in my thing, I'd rather like cop actual physical cards. Like, so I would cop physical graded cards because at the end of the day, I know there's a person out there that still may have that nostalgia region and they'll want to have that like physical copy. For me, like I can't do anything with
believe me, I got like a limited Paul George, so it means nothing to me. I don't even fuck with Paul George like that. So it's like, yo,
I think
you know,
I think on the NFTs though, it just really scratched the surface, right? Because like we're caught up in the like what they're doing right now with NFTs is like 1.1% of how I think NFTs are going to impact the world. I think NFTs are amazing, but they just haven't been figured out how to properly utilize in a way beyond what we're seeing on the surface. I think in the art space, it's kind of dope though, because you actually can buy the NFT and they sell it a couple different ways. You could get an NFT where it's just an NFT.
I've seen different artists use it differently. Like I think it's dope as far as like how
but you get brand. No, but what I'm saying is like when you buy an NFT in an art space, you can just get a digital NFT. An artist can sell the physical with the digital, and the digital becomes an authenticator. It becomes an authenticator, and then some artists create a physical copy and actually destroy the physical copy and give you the digital only.
That in that case, I think NFTs are dope. Also, like with the music industry, what I think like the space where I really think NFTs are going to really be, I guess, dope. Utilize it at max potential is when like artists, sports players probably wouldn't have problems with it, but when you have like an independent artist that will sell piece of themselves as an NFT, where you could actually buy like a share of an artist essentially and have that tied to whatever they do. So if you could have an NFT that was tied to the artist, essentially X amount of sales they make, this percentage goes out to this, this amount for each token. If you own one token of this, you would get this percentage of this amount of each sale of the merch, each sale of album, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's really the space where NFTs are going to really thrive when dudes kind of start breaking, when you have like artists and talent start breaking themselves into shares, like where you could kind of invest in like an upcoming artist or invest in an upcoming musician, invest in a rookie athlete. Like imagine if a rookie athlete coming out of college just breaks his whole shit up into, breaks his whole contract up into tokens, you know what I'm saying? He could still be a majority owner of the token, so he gets, whatever salary, but he could tie that token share into all types of shit, whether it be endorsements, actual salary, so if the dude get better, his shit's worth more, shit like that.
I feel like that was the idea for GoFundMe at first, right? Like that. Before people started dying and using it as like a way to get away. You know what I'm saying? Like the first, like, you know what I mean? Like the first couple GoFundMes, I remember them being like, "Yo, we're making a movie. You invest,
we're making some fly shit."
Get that. Now,
there's different forms of crowdsourcing. But what I saw that was pretty cool with the NFT was like with a rock band, right? Like Kings of Leon. When they sold all these different versions of their album, when the album dropped, and one of the premiere packages that you could buy was that you get 3 front row tickets to any show they have for the rest of their life, anywhere in the world, and backstage passes. Now, what you could do it, but people bought them just like cards because then it was like, all right, cool, I'm just gonna sell this off to the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, that's dope. That's
dope.
So
there is crafty ways with it.
Well, that's incentivized, so that makes sense.
Sure, you know what I mean. There's if you have a market, I guess you could figure out some shit.
I think that the NFT space is dope from an authentication position because if you talk about collecting baseball cards, right? Like if you have a baseball card, you have a Don Mattingly rookie card, right? You got to go somewhere, and a guy grades it, and then he deems it authentic or not. But it's really just an opinion. Like you really don't know if that card's authentic. You're counting on the expert to be correct, but technically he could be wrong. With NFT, you're going to actually be able to authenticate any collectible. Now you might argue that, well, shit, I don't want a digital collectible, and I get that too. But there were also a point in time where people said I wouldn't want a digital song, So I think we're creatures of habit and we're used to things a certain way, but generations beyond ours are going to probably look at it and be like, why would you want a piece of art that takes up space when I can just have it on my phone?
Think about it like this, right? You got a piece of art right behind you, right? You got literally a painting or whatever behind you. I mean, will we get to
I do. I mean, you talking to L?
I'm about to
My bad.
trash ass myself.
My bad. I thought you were talking about these things here.
In case y'all wondering, Doe got kicks for sale. Nobody buying.
You got a bunch of MF Dooms.
Yeah, you got a bunch of every pair of MF Doom kicks in the back. So L, so like when we get to a point, right, where instead of walking in the crib and you got paintings, right? I mean, not instead, but like also you get to the crib and you got like a Minority Report style screen, and you just like, oh look at this is the collection I bought back in 2024, and you just kind of like,
but that shit is dope. The nigga could probably, but the nigga right now could just make a digital art frame that just displays your NFTs.
That's
like,
right.
I was just thinking about that. Like, what if like the John Starks dunk? We all love that dunk, right? I think that'd be a dope like NFT to have like hung up somewhere and just replaying on some hologram shit. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of fun.
I would buy an NFT of Solange slapping Hove in an elevator.
NFT. Let me text Jay real quick.
NFT of Hove diving into.
Let me text Jay real quick. I'm about to stop shitting on Jay-Z over here.
Justin's losing contact about a minute right now.
Yo, Carl. Yo, just got the worst Jay-Z playlist in the history of all Jay-Z playlists.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
But check this, right? I just thought about something because obviously we all gonna slander Just, but you know what I was thinking as we talking about NFTs on some real shit, right? And connecting it back to the music thing. I think it was L who talked about, or artist thing. You do realize that if Big and Pac was alive, they would have the illest NFTs without a doubt. Because if you think about how they conceptualized that whole thing, right? The roster of Bad Boy, the roster of Death Row, right? Like if that thing never happened, just think about the possibilities for those guys, because they would still be cultural icons. You know what I mean? Like that would just be crazy. Like I was just thinking about it, like, because everything kind of splintered, right? Like things kind of fell. It kind of, there was some, there was some turmoil and tension. And obviously new artists came around, but I think that those guys will probably be heavy into this game because they're already conceptualizing the art form, doing the films and things like that. You know what I mean?
Carl,
I'm gonna buy Dutch or Earl sweatshirt NFT.
Carl, let me fill you in because they fuck with me a lot about Hov, right?
Yonkers.
I'm a Jay fan, but I'm a big fan. So
I know. That's why I brought it up, Justin.
So I would 1,000% agree with you, Dutch. You know what I'm saying? But like, fuck around and this whole NFT shit gonna be flipped around when Jay next album is an NFT. You know what I mean?
Only. But actually, you know what?
Only.
Real quick. What if
after him messing with Andrew Horowitz? After seeing him Andrew Horowitz, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, to be honest, at this point, Jay could do.
You know who I think gonna do that first though? Kanye.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Kanye gonna.
I can see
Kanye does
doing
it. Listen, if Kanye does it with Virgil,
one of them doing it.
Shit's out the window.
Yeah.
Currency.
Currency, Money Man, or Larry June, one of them type dudes is probably gonna get it first.
Yeah.
It would have probably been.
Well, Jim Jones already beat him to it though. Jim Jones already beat him to it.
I'm gonna buy.
You're right. Jim Jones did do it early.
Elgin got a lot of copper coins right now.
No, I'm
gonna
buy
Carl,
the NFT. No, I'm gonna buy Carl an NFT of what's the dude you beat with on Twitter? Tariq Nasheed. I'm gonna give it Tariq Nasheed.
That was a legendary beat.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, though, my favorite thing about Carl in the world, like this is not my favorite thing, but like top 3 favorite things in the world that Carl does. Well, he used to do because he doesn't have Twitter no more. Like the people would slander him for whatever he was. Retweet the shit out the slander. And it made me more happy to see him retweeting his slander because I know the people that were tweeting him were annoyed. That shit is so disarming like you're trying to get under someone's skin and he's not answering you. He's just retweeting it. Like I would literally just see that on Twitter. I would be like, yo, who the fuck is this slandering call by the civil right? I'm like, yo, this dude right here is crazy.
Yeah, I used to tell niggas, that's the street team. That's my street team. You know what I'm saying? So they give me the free promo, so I gotta give them love. You know what I'm saying?
It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right if we didn't ask you though. You know, if we going through like, you know, crypto.
He lost service.
Yeah, Hov put the hit out.
Man, that's what I'm saying. This nigga talking shit. Hov cut your internet off.
Say what?
Hov called
cut your
Sprint.
internet off.
Hov called a Vayfrin at Comcast.
Oh man, damn. Did you hear my question, Carl?
No.
God.
I was saying, how are you faring under this new presidential regime? Because I know, you know, your man
Yeah, I'm not.
took an L, and you know.
Yeah, I'm not really fucking with Biden. I'm not fucking with the Biden economy. You know what I'm saying? It's not doing too good. You know, but we gonna make it in any economy. But yeah, so my nigga Trump has shit booming. Yo, son, yo, dog, niggas just gotta keep it real at this point, dog. Like Trump has shit booming. A lot of this fuck shit we dealing with right now, gas prices gas was like $2 when Trump, the whole time Trump was president, son. Gas was cheap, the money was flowing. I don't know, man. Niggas just like, y'all niggas, we gotta keep it a buck, son. We gotta keep it a buck.
Some of the best times on the pod was fucking with you and that Trump shit. I ain't gonna fret. That time y'all went to the White House, you and homeboy. Oh my God. Y'all niggas was out of line, dog. Y'all niggas was looking crazy. That shit was hilarious. That shit was hilarious.
But you know, it used to be in a group chat, like right after that episode would drop. Justin Doe would be like, yo, what is wrong with your man, bro, with the Trump shit? Like, yo,
remember the dude who was mad at me when you went to the White House with Doe?
Which dude was mad?
I forgot it was on my old account. He started talking real aggressive to me, and I was like, bro, like I'm right downtown. I mean, I'm at 48 Broadway.
Yo, that shit was crazy.
You know, if you're that upset, I'm there every Friday. You know.
Yo, but not real talk. You know, going, you know, not to put a damp on shit, but I mean, even going back to crypto and shit like that. Like I be telling niggas all the time, I'm like, y'all niggas voted your man in, but I hope y'all ready to pay them taxes, because the amount of spending that the government has been going through, the bread got to come from somewhere. And don't think the enforcement ain't coming. Like the tax enforcement is gonna come. It may not be here yet, but trust me, they're gonna have to pull the bread from somewhere. So that's another reason why I know, like, yo, this shit is too good. Niggas been chilling for a year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Getting free money, like this shit. And just right before COVID hit, I used to tell niggas, like, I used to work in the hotels. And if anyone's not familiar with New York hotels, them niggas make bread. Like it's a very favorable job. Them niggas be chilling. You know what I'm saying? Union, everybody chilling. I used to tell niggas, like, we used to be sitting, eating 5-star food, just chilling at work, getting paid, you know what I'm saying? Just talking shit. And I used to tell niggas, like, yo, you see this shit right here? This shit is too good. It's not gonna last forever. Like, nothing this shit like this, when you're not supposed to be having this much fun at work. And just like this right now, you ain't really supposed to be having this much fun in life. Like, niggas is chilling hard body. Niggas is doing mad vacations. And just realistically, life don't work out like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, we got generations of niggas who never really dealt with no war, never really dealt with no type of real serious catastrophe and shit like that. Dog, that shit's gonna come. That shit always usually come like every 20 years, you know, something like that. But dog, like, some shit is gonna come. I thought that flash crash was gonna be the beginning when, like, you know, shit was really gonna go downhill. But my nigga Trump pulled out the emergency steroids and injected the feds. You know what I'm saying? And they just started printing money out of control. But yo, this shit is just like. Yo, sometimes I feel crazy because I be looking around and I'm like, yo, I don't think people realize this shit is not gonna last forever. Like, niggas, it's crazy, son.
I mean, they giving unemployment, niggas got PPP loans. It's always
you got just at the golf course getting paid to play golf.
What happened?
Yo, through the whole pandemic, just every day, bro, he would be in the golf course, like, instead of working but getting a check. because he had to work from home.
I wish that was me. That's dope.
I'm just a regular dude, man. I don't know what he's talking
about. He sent me and Doe selfie with a beer can at the golf course.
If y'all listen to my playlist, you can live like me too.
He'd be like,
the playlist got the jewels. The playlist got the jewels.
I'm trying to tell you, man, how you can live it and just really chill it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just be on the golf course. Just be at Trump courses, man.
I never played at a Trump course. I'm gonna keep it 1,000, which I never played.
You would, though.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes,
I wouldn't. No, that nigga threw paper towel at my people when we was really hurting, dog. I can't.
Oh, yo, that was a cold moment.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Nigga was shooting jump shots at my people, man. I couldn't.
Keep it 100. That was not part of you ain't want to laugh.
It was
keep it 100. Keep it 100. Part of you ain't want to laugh when it happened.
He's funny, yeah,
if
but like
the jump shot,
it was
take the emotions out of it.
It's the other people that make it funny.
Huh?
When people part the memes on it and all that, you know what I'm saying? The curry
Wait,
shit and all
I'm
that.
talking about the raw video. The nigga took jump shot in a paper towel like that. Shit is just crazy. Like
Carl want to buy the NFT.
That is a good NFT.
That's NFT.
Nah,
you foul.
I'm not. I don't go OD politics.
NBA Top Shot need to drop that.
I don't do OD politics, but like you know what I'm saying. My peoples are still out there. My mom was there hiding in the bathroom for her life when shit happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they needed help. You know what I mean? So like,
I'm always curious why Puerto Ricans here when y'all got such a good tax rate in Puerto Rico.
Because nobody got no jobs out there.
Yeah, that's the job rate. The job rate is. But you know,
there's no work out there.
Everybody living off crypto paradise.
That's a fact. They living off America's, piggy bank. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why they never want to be a state. They'll talk that shit, but they won't vote it. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
But I won't play at no Trump course because I don't, I can't rock with that. And not for nothing, his courses are mad expensive. So it's like I'm a.
But you're rich.
Rich what?
Bro, you own one of the hottest clothing lines. You got a house in East Chester.
You putting out a lot of information, dog.
You gotta have to edit this. We
live. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, bro. Embrace your wealth. You work hard.
You got a Basquiat behind you, nigga. What you talking about? Like?
Listen, it's fake. It's fake.
It's an NFT. It's an NFT.
I took a picture and brought it to Office Depot. I was like, "Can you blow this up?" A picture from my iPhone.
You're a fool. Picture from my iPhone.
It's like, can you make this 20 by 24? They were like, sure.
Yo, that's
man.
Yo, but let me ask you, when y'all was doing all that, there wasn't no NFT episodes y'all did, right?
Nah,
it wasn't even a thing.
It wasn't even a thing yet.
It wasn't even a thing.
NFTs,
but you know what? This whole conversation reminds me of something that Carl used to always say. Actually, both of you guys. And on every episode, you guys would always, like when we would do the closing, you would always be like, yo, always remember, no one's the expert in this space. This space is changing fast. You can really be a part of it. Yo, 2 years later, bro, think about the shit that's just been going on since COVID started in this space. You know what I mean? Like you said, NFT wasn't even a thing then.
I'm going to keep it 100. When we were doing the podcast, I was way more versed on crypto than I am now. Like, I'm still more versed than most people on crypto, but there's a lot of new coins that I just don't know shit about. Like, so a lot of times with certain coins, people are asking me like, yo, what you think about this coin or that coin? And I'll be like, yo, to be honest, I don't know nothing about them. Like, I can't comment, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I do, like, if it's something I can't comment with. But I still think it's crazy because a lot of the coins that we were talking about and we were promoting back then are still a lot of the coins that I would promote right now and a lot of ones that I still see as long-term. So it's just like, it's funny how that works. Like with me, I'm only trying to find like 5 to 10 cryptos max that I just want to build in. You know what I'm saying? If 2 or 3 of them shits become Google or Amazon, I'm fine with that.
You was on Cardano early, Carl.
Yeah, Cardano's one of them. Yeah.
You know what? Cardano and Monero was the big argument when Jody came with the link. Yo, that's just for that moment, that show is the most legendary crypto show ever. Nobody can touch us.
He was a multi-millionaire off that one crypto.
listen, he was on the show when the shit was 30 cents.
Dead ass.
And L was bullying
I think
him.
it was less than 30 cents, to be honest, when he was on it.
No, I'm lying. It was 30 cents when he came back. The first show, it was like 19 cents. And
Carl bullied him.
And Carl and L were bullying him.
No,
I was bullying him. But you know what?
The
bullying made him state his case. And I hope, listen, we got to find out if any listeners copped the link and held it, because, yo, that was like, I still can't believe that shit.
Yeah, that was a multiple.
That's insane, bro.
I got a question.
You know what's
for
the worst?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the worst thing about Dutch being on the show is that every coin that we would talk about, he would find an excuse not to buy it.
Every coin.
No.
That's a fact.
I did not buy him and hold him. No, I did not buy him and hold him. I was not a holder. I was just trying to get some money. I'm poor. You know, I need bills. I had to pay bills. I'm not a holder. He always be
like, yo, look, the entry point. I missed the entry point. That's what's his excuse for everything. I missed the entry point.
Then we had Supreme on Thursday.
Yeah, but I was always doing my technical analysis.
That's a fact. He had all the Supreme drops, though. He had all the Supreme drops during that time.
We need a Supreme NFT. That's what we need. No, we need a Supreme NFT. Let's make it happen.
What you was gonna say, Just?
No, but the funniest thing is, like, Supreme, if anything, is probably the best brand NFT built to fuck with NFTs, because they sell bricks. You know what I'm saying? So they sell anything. They could. But if you really, I'm surprised they didn't do it yet.
You know what though? But all those brands, even a lot of the brands that you find that end up getting more prominent, those are the brands that should do it. If you think about it, think about how many times you put me on as an artist that's putting out something. You know what I mean? That's really who should do it.
Gucci, I think, already released a digital sneaker through the NFT.
A bunch of people did, yeah, but Dutch, I really been thinking you, because you know how Dogecoin and Shinibu, whatever the fuck it's called, the shit I own, like they're all meme coins. Like I really want to, because for people don't know, like Dutch has like 10, 15 memes in our group chat. Like I want to make a Dutch coin.
Yeah, we gotta make it the meme.
You know,
and
I feel like people will buy it.
Yo,
like if they buy a dog,
hold on,
yo,
Carl, what's that you smoking on? What strain is that?
This is San Fernando Valley.
Oh damn, San Fernando Valley OG?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites, huh?
Yeah.
It's option day strain.
Damn, might have to grab some out the jar.
You know what the wild thing is though? I'm actually surprised that there hasn't been an artist like a rapper or a musician who's really broken through with a coin. I find that's just weird to me, because you could just have it in your own ecosystem. Like,
I just think a lot of niggas just don't know. A lot of niggas are just learning like us. Like I think a lot of times people look at celebrities and they just assume that they already know certain shit because they in that space. But a lot of these niggas is learning like everybody else.
Well, I'm too.
You know who could probably do that? You know who could probably do that
like,
because they have a lot of. I feel like they have a lot of material at this point. Maybe someone like Travis Scott, who seems to be dropping shit all over the place.
He could do anything. He could do anything.
He seemed like someone at this point that, like, you could buy Kanye West, or you could buy my merchandise with the coin. You get what I'm saying? Along or with money.
Yeah.
I think it has to be someone that is cross-branding everything within their brand, whether it's music, fashion, whatever. That's
why I think Kanye can do
that coin off, like, someone like that. Not saying, like Currency dropped the NFT album today, right?
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Look at that. I was guessing on that.
So
what you was going to say, Just?
No, real quick. I was just going to say in the comment section, because we on live on YouTube, a person named Josh. Yeah, somebody named Josh Gurman said, ran up a bag with Link thanks to that episode with Jedi.
Oh man.
Salute.
Man, he's
beautiful.
So that's all. But the other thing I was gonna say is my I'm real Puerto Rican. I got 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? I got an oldest daughter. She's 18, and her mom did the right thing. Come on, though. And my older you fucked me up. my daughter's mother was smart and bought her a Bitcoin and bought her Litecoin back in like 2013. So I'm curious about things like, what is it, Gemini and some of these other ones where you can earn interest on the shit. Like, is it safe to do that, or is it like a weird space?
Well, here's the thing: when you're dealing with high yield savings accounts, essentially what they are, you gotta, with the crypto space, most companies you're gonna be dealing with are gonna be relatively new. So a lot of these industries don't have the duration for someone to be quote unquote reputable. So what you're gonna do is you do the next best thing is, you just look at the company, look at the people involved in the company, and kind of just make the, your best guesstimate from there. Gemini and stuff like that. I mean, Gemini is a lot of these stuff have certain US regulations. So I mean, I would say they're safe in the terms that Gemini isn't gonna run away with your money, quote unquote, and probably not a lot of the other big ones, but they aren't like FDI insured like a bank is. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, another thing you got to look into is what these people's custody is like. So certain high yield savings thing, all of their custody is on their actual, digitally in their thing. They don't actually remove it to cold storage. Like some other places actually take the coins and put it, like I think Nexo has 100% of their coins in cold storage. I think BlockFi and Celsius, I think they have a certain percentage. So I think you could kind of look at those type of things and kind of like gauge your sense of it. But also at the same time, once you give someone your cryptos, it's not yours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's always a concern you still have to have in the back of your head. And I think you just have to do a cost benefit analysis. I think the type of money you should put in there should be, I don't want to say money you could afford to lose, but I mean, you're getting 8% interest return on an asset that is historically given like 500% annually. Like if you
Bitcoin, that was my thing. Yeah, what I was telling them, like, you might as well just leave it, let it build.
So you could do it, but again, it is good to actually get, because you do with certain things, you are getting that interest back in that coin. So if the coin is appreciating, you're also getting the interest that is going to get that compound appreciation that the coin gets as well. So there's still an argument made to be there, like, it's only 8%, but that 8% could compound into something else if, you got 50% of the 8% of what you would get for the year, and then Bitcoin spikes up, 40% and stays up there. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like a cost benefit analysis. What I would tell people is you got to do your research. And this is part of the crypto game where I was telling people earlier, if you don't feel safe, you want to just invest in Coinbase. This is part of the things where you got to be real with people. There is risk with the cryptos. I mean, there's risk with, so for example, so full disclosure, like I know someone who recently did a high yield savings account, right? And accidentally they had an issue. It was with Nexo. They had an issue where they sent their chain link to the wrong wallet in Nexo, right?
Shit.
So it went to an Ethereum wallet. Thankfully, Nexo is gonna resolve the situation, but it takes a lot of time for that situation to get resolved, right? It could take up to like 6 months. So now, like I said, thankfully they have a way to get the money back for them. So they're going to get it back for them eventually. Well, that's what they've been told. So we don't know if it's going to happen. But that's 6 months where it's just sitting there. It's not necessarily going to collect interest. And it was all off of user error. You know what I'm saying? Just not being careful in terms of just not double checking and making sure of what they were doing. They were sending a bunch of coins there, but you had to make sure you were sending each coin to the appropriate wallet that it's supposed to get deposited into. So, when you're doing all these things, you're introducing a whole bunch of type of risk. I think for people who aren't really computer savvy, people who aren't really familiar with all the security protocols and all these things, get you a fucking hardware wallet, put your fucking crypto in a hardware wallet and put that shit somewhere safe. Put your password another place somewhere safe, and then just call it a day. And then just don't even try to, reinvent the wheel and make shit more complicated than it needs to be. But if you're a person, you knowledgeable, you know what you're doing. I don't think, me personally, I don't think, I would recommend, if you know what you're doing, I think doing a high yield savings account would be good. Like I wouldn't not recommend it. Me personally, I wouldn't mess with any of the decentralized, because they do have some services that are decentralized. The reason being is that, again, like a situation that just happened with the person I just explained, if that happened on a decentralized exchange, there is no customer support. There is no, there is no person to fix that. Like that shit is just gone. It's lost. So that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't. Because at the end of the day, if you have a company that's operating in America, you still have some sort of remedies. Even if you're not FDIC insured, you could still sue people, et cetera, et cetera. There's still some sort of potential remedy in that situation. So, I wouldn't recommend DeFi just for that reason alone.
Yeah.
And not saying that there's anything bad with doing anything with a DeFi, but that's a very pretty much main reason why I wouldn't do it. I don't think there's, I think it's just, you kind of have to like gauge yourself and, get in where you can fit in, do the shit that you're aptitude and stuff like that. But if it feels too complicated, don't do it. Just put your shit in a cold wallet and just leave it there.
Good to know.
Don't make it complex. Just make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, because she don't know much, you know what I'm saying? So she's like, Daddy, I don't, I'm just gonna leave it. I don't want to do nothing. But I would not leave that in any type of exchange right now. I would not. That needs to be in a cold wallet because again, a lot of people when people say, "Oh, my wallet got hacked," or people got hacked and lost cryptocurrency, the biggest misconception is people think wallets actually get hacked. 99% of the time, somebody's stuff got hacked or they got Bitcoin stolen from them. They don't really get hacked. The wallet doesn't get hacked. What get hacked is their phone or their email address. Mm-hmm. And the hackers just get access to their phone. They either do a clone the phone onto a phone that they have, and they'll do a password reset. They'll get the two-factor authentication into the clone phone that they have, and then they'll just get access to your account. That's usually how most Bitcoin. So a lot of times, and again, another thing when dealing with cryptocurrency, I highly recommend people have a separate email that they only use for their crypto exchanges and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with anything else. Like when you're dealing with crypto, I would honestly, it's not crazy to even go the next step and have a computer that you only deal with your crypto and you don't do anything else. You don't let niggas web surf. You don't let nobody touch that computer. This is the only computer I use to access that stuff, just so at least you can mitigate any type of access or your shit being compromised. You know what I'm saying? It's all about really minimizing that. So in like that situation, the safest thing for her to do is to have that Bitcoin in a cold wallet. Because the only way people can get that is if they steal that wallet. And a lot of people, we're talking about people who have like millions and tens of millions of Bitcoin. They have firms that have hidden storage locations for wallets for people with like, $50 million, like serious crazy bags. Like they got firms and the locations are even secret that they won't even tell the niggas who are paying for the service where the location is. That's like how top secret it is. Like that's how real it gets with people who got real big bags on it. But that's not to say that a person with 50 grand in crypto shouldn't be taking the same due diligence, or a person with 10 grand in crypto shouldn't be taking the same due diligence. Like, the worst thing that could happen is that you held for so long for all these years and somebody just yaps your shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and and like I said, when you have your shit in any type of soft storage, when it's on any type of exchange on a site, Coinbase, Robinhood, etc., that's a security gap. Like you're leaving yourself exposed because, dog, for these dudes to clone your phone and hack your email, like that shit. All of our computers is compromised right now. I'm telling you, all of us got a virus. All of our computers are compromised right now. Like that's just how most people don't even realize their computers are being used as bots for other attacks and shit like that. You on your shit playing video games and a nigga using your shit to do a DDoS attack on some other site. Like that shit is that's just a fact of nature. So again, you just got to be smart about these things and make sure you have that stuff in cold storage. If there's anything people should get from this episode, is make sure you have your shit securely, your crypto secure in cold storage. I don't think these Doge niggas care.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's good info though.
Yo, dog. But again, another thing, I'll keep reminding dudes, yo, dog, you're making these bags off Doge. Robinhood is sending them flips directly to the IRS. So don't think
Elgin's showing off a cold storage. He's rich.
Word.
He live in a physical cold storage.
See, he fucked up because now he told the ops where to come get the wallet at.
Sad times.
Listen,
They know it's at your crib now. Now they know it's at your crib.
You don't know if it's in this box though. So
Yo, that's how they got Pop Smoke, man. You gotta be safe out there.
Call.
Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Ain't lying.
Well, I used to love to keep all my coins on the janky exchanges though.
So hold on.
Yeah.
So hold on. What is that? What is that exactly? Because some people might not know what that is. What is
That's
that?
cold storage.
So that's a Ledger. That's a Ledger wallet. So when I was saying cold storage, I'm sorry, you're right. I should have explained that. So when I'm telling people cold storage, I'm talking about what Elgin has in his hand right now, which is an actual physical device that's going to hold your crypto. So Ledger and Trezor are the two top names in terms of, those are the most reputable names in terms of wallet storage. But when we say cold storage, that's what you want. You want it in one of those. But again, if you want to go a step further and you just have that one computer that you use only for crypto that doesn't go on anything else, and that wallet only goes inside that computer and it never touches another one. That's the type. Real talk, it sounds paranoid, but honestly, if you got serious bread involved in crypto, you need to have that level of paranoia when you're handling it and when you're doing any type of transactions with it.
Yo, you know what? I think it was on Reddit or somebody posted it from Reddit somewhere. But it was on Reddit, but I think I saw it on IG. Posted like the little video cat. There's a dude.
You saw it on MySpace.
Nah, Friendster. He was like, yo, I have a separate, just like what Carl said, he had like a separate laptop and wallet for like all this shit, and he didn't do anything on his other devices.
I could see Dutch logging into his Coinbase account from like those phone things that are like in Times Square, like the billboard that has the free phone on the side.
That's
where.
What they call
charging stations? Those charging stations?
Yeah, but if you also you can make phone calls from it with the little keypad. I see Dutch using that.
Yo, that's the same. That's probably the safest joint in the city, bro. That's the funny part.
Yo, also one thing I forgot to mention, when y'all doing the cold storage, is very important to store and your password phrases. So when you have these cold wallets that have like, what is it, like a 20 words,
19 or 20 words.
It'd be like 19 or 20 random words, which in effect will work as your password.
You gotta write this down.
You do not want to lose them, because you lose that password, you lost your money. So
but the good thing is you can lose the passwords if you still have the device, or you can lose the device if you still have the passwords. Like you got to retain one of them, and you can still get a recovery.
Got you, but also you also have to. It also depends on which type of wallet you have, because some wallets have built-in self-destruct. So I actually read an article about a dude that has like a shitload.
He got one password. He got one login.
Yeah, you saw that one, right? So the dude has a wallet that gives you, I think it gives you like 15 password attempts, and on the 15 one, it like basically self-destructs itself.
Mission Impossible shit.
I'm good on that.
So I wouldn't even want to fuck with that, but he's on his 14th try. Like he has one try left on the shit, and the shit has M's on it. And the shit has M's, and he's like,
that's like the dopest. That's like the dopest unboxing on YouTube ever. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try the last password, y'all.
Dog, that would kill me right there. That shit would put me.
Did you see that? There's a dude who only has like one more attempt to get his wallet.
That's what
they're talking about.
Is that the same guy? That's the same guy?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure it was the same guy. Okay, yeah.
Dutch is in Detroit. He can't hear everything clearly.
Over the gunshots?
It takes time. I'm in Central Time Zone.
Carl, Dutch had to check in when he got to Detroit too.
Oh, word?
With Trick.
Yeah, he had to check in with Trick. He had to check in.
Man. Listen, man, I'm doing what Carl told me to do, man. I'm not niggering up, man. I'm around all the good white people in Detroit, man. I'm staying safe. You know what I mean? I'm staying safe.
That's crazy.
No doubt.
Yeah, no. One last thing, right? If I haven't done it yet, but I've been peeping it. Like if you're a little afraid to get directly involved in the coins, right? Like, is ETFs on those good? Or is that like it's just like a backwards play? You know what I'm saying? Like, you should just go for
I don't think it's bad to do the ETFs. Like, I think that's how a lot of those ETFs are bringing the liquidity that we always wanted, the shit that we was always talking about, like on the podcast where we wanted like the institutionalized, like those stuff is part of the ecosystem that will bring that liquidity and get that investment. Institutions, you got to remember, there's mad institutions that will never buy cryptocurrencies, but they'll buy an ETF because the ETF is responsible for the custody of the cryptocurrency. So the Geminis of the world that take the risk on actually holding the cryptocurrencies, all the responsibility falls on them. If anything happens, they get hacked, they get robbed. These people still have some, they can recoup some of their money, whether it's FDIC money. They still have SEC, whether SEC fines the company, et cetera, et cetera. They still have an avenue. So I don't think it's a bad idea at all. Like, honestly, it's probably the safer route for most people, just so you don't have to worry about the issue of, so for example, if your trading account got hacked, and people withdraw that money, you would get that money back. Like, if an account hacked your thing and they withdrew it to an account that wasn't yours, there would be some sort of recourse and you would get that money returned. It's not like that money would just be lost forever. So, when you do it ETFs or you want to invest in the actual vehicles like Coinbase, I don't think it's a bad idea. To me, it's a million ways to skin the cat. So I think everyone just needs to work. You need to know yourself personally and know what your risk tolerance is, what your knowledge is, and what you feel comfortable with, what you got the time. Like, some dudes ain't got the time to be looking at crazy cryptos and they don't want to deal with that volatility. So they'll be like, the ETF is better because at least the ETF is balanced with a bunch of cryptos. So if one is shooting up and the others aren't, at least that one may, balance it out or something like that, as opposed to me having to pick which cryptos, to invest in. So that's the ETF shit isn't bad at all. I think it's like, niggas who like white or dark liquor, like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like it. Yeah, it's not really, it ain't. I think if you invested in anything that's adjacent or related to crypto, even if it's something like, Riot, or, what's the other shit? Master, that I think the MSTR, the ticker, you still in the crypto game.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's no right or wrong way. You don't expect the ETF to go up 500% like a Doge or nothing like that, but you will see gains appropriate with how ETF is going to move. Whatever the basket is comprised of. There ain't no right or wrong way to do this. You know what I'm saying? If it do, you want to just strictly trade mem coins, as long as you know what the fuck you're doing, like, by all means, get it, my nigga. Like,
that's what's up. Man, this has been a fucking really dope episode. I'm happy to see you brothers, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, glad to be here, man.
I really appreciate your time, man. I think, man, not only would I like to, we like to do this again, but even individually, you guys have real like layered, stories to share with people on an individual level. So just to have all three of y'all here, man, is definitely a pleasure ride, though.
Sure. Appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir, man. Don't be in here for real.
Yeah, man, that's what we like to do here, man. We all like, good friends and get along, and niggas can talk offline and all that kind of shit. But this is a platform that is important for other people, man, because we all learning, we all growing, we all trying to pull each other up. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the circumstances.
Sure.
And I appreciate y'all sparing this time. We got to make the Dutch meme coin.
Yeah, we got
it. Make that happen.
If y'all make that NFT, I'm in. If y'all make the Dutch NFT, I'm in.
Yeah, make the Dutch coin.
Let's do it.
Dutch coin.
Let's make it happen, man. And I'm gonna say this right now. I hope that this sparks the Cryptology podcast to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, we might have to drop the Cryptology podcast NFT, and if enough niggas cop enough tokens, we come back. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
I like that idea.
I'm copping.
Yes, man.
All right.
But salute to you. Yes.
And let's just make sure the Knicks get a win tonight versus the Lakers.
Oh, that's right.
Facts.
LeBron's out too.
No LeBron.
Man, perfect.
We need a win.
Shout
out to y'all.
Let's go, Knicks.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, brother.
All right.
All right.
Later.
We
Peace,
out.
everybody.